Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. A very sad story here, and it's been reported by the Times of Israel. And just to think about it, it's sad. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just reporting what two other media outlets, Russia Today and, if you want, Daily Beast, picked an article, a report coming from Israel regarding some very bad news. And it seems like history repeats itself, but the positions are reversed from victim something else. Let me read you the first article coming from Russia Today. This comes on the 3rd of January 2024. Israel considers plan, right, to resettle Palestinians in Africa, reports say. Washington has rejected plans for the resettlement of inflammatory and irresponsible. So, why again Africa? That reminds me of something else. Are you familiar with the Madagascar plan? Are you familiar with the Madagascar? Well, in the Madagascar plan, the Jews were supposed to be forcefully resettled, relocated by the Nazis in 1940. But it was not the Nazis who were the first ones who talked about the Madagascar plan. It was another European country, which is, we now know, very virtuous, especially when I talk to the Russians about Ukraine. Can you guess who those guys are? I will mention them. The ones with balls. And it rhymes. So, you would be surprised, or maybe not, officials from Israel are holding clandestine discussions with the Democratic Republic of Congo and other African nations over plans to the resettlement of thousands of Palestinian migrants from Gaza. Israeli media has claimed right here. Why Africa again? I will show you a map where Congo is. The Republic of Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, is in Central Africa, obviously, so I will show you. Plans for the quote-unquote voluntary resettlement of people from the besieged Palestinian enclave to the Central African country are slowly becoming a key policy of Benjamin Netanyahu coalition, the Times of Israel reported on Wednesday. Citing a senior government source, it added that Israel has held talks with several African countries to determine if they would accept migrants from Gaza. And I'm quoting, Congo will be willing to take in immigrants, and we are in talks with others. And quote, the news website said, quoting the unnamed official, last Monday, Netanyahu told a meeting of his Likud party that he is progressing with plans for the migration of Gazans, but that, and I'm quoting, our problem is finding countries that are willing to absorb Gazans. The Democratic Republic of Congo has the highest level of poverty and inequality, a report by the World Food Programme said, combined with recurring regional conflict and insecurity. The aid organization added that about 52.5% of its 5.5 million population lives below the poverty line. 5.5 million population, half of Israel, and the country is huge. I'm not saying they should get the Palestinians, but wait. It's more to that. On Tuesday, Washington rejected, as I'm quoting, irresponsible statements from Israeli officials over the proposed resettlement plan, including two who had called for the, and I'm quoting, voluntary migration of Palestinians. And I'm quoting, the United States reject recent statements from ministers Bezalel Babebouf and Boubou for the resettlement of Palestinians outside Gaza. All right, well, let's go to the next article. Comes from Daily Beast, the same day, January 3rd, 2024. Israel in secret talks for resettle Palestinians in Congo, report says. Resettle is in quotation marks. And Israel authorities have the same thing here. That's according to the Times of Israel, which cites its Hebrew language sister site Zman Israel to report that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's coalition is looking at the Democratic Republic of Congo, as well as other countries, for the voluntary resettlement plan. Congo is willing to take in migrants, and I'm quoting, and we're in talks with others, end quote, an unnamed source in a security cabinet is quoted as saying. Now let's see where the Republic of Congo is. It's right here, my friends. Look how big it is. 5.5 million people on this land. And Israel is somewhere over there. You barely see it. Doesn't mean that these guys should be, as they say, resettled. Now let's see what's going on with this little thing here. Madagascar plan, shall we? There he is, Madagascar plan. And you have it over there, the island. The Madagascar plan was a plan proposed by Nazi German government to forcibly relocate the Jewish population of Europe to the island of Madagascar. Franz Radenmacher, head of Jewish department of the German Foreign Office, proposed the idea. Keep in mind this, not that. Keep in mind this date, June 1940. So that's when these guys proposed, the Nazis, 1940. Shortly before the fall of France, the proposal called for the handing over of control of Madagascar, then a French colony, to Germany as part of the eventual peace terms. The idea of resettling Polish Jews to Madagascar was investigated not by Nazis, but by Polish government in 1937. The other one was in June 1940. So the Poles, those that lectured the Russians all the way, in 1937, they investigated the idea of resettling Polish Jews. The government in 1937, and then three years after that, the Nazi Germans picked up on the same issue. So it seems like the Poles were trailblazers, right? Well, next time when the Poles are showing you their virtue, remind them that. And not only, I will give you another, and not this time, I would have given you another ammunition. Now, but the task force, which is the Polish government, right? The task force, where is this? Sent to evaluate the island's potential determined that only 5,000 to 7,000 families, only, can you hear that? Only, could be accommodated, or even as few as 500 families by some estimates, as the efforts by the Nazis to encourage the emigration of the Jewish population of Germany before World War II were only partially successful. The idea of deporting Jews to Madagascar was revived by the Nazi government in 1940. All right, my friends, you got that thing? So now we have Israel voluntarily relocating the Gazans. Now let me tell you this. You have your own house, maybe apartment, location where you live. Anyone who has power over you can make you voluntarily move. How? They create such an unbearable environment in your area that you would rather leave than stay in the rubble or rubbles or ruins. So if someone would day and night, I'm not saying Israel is doing that. I'm just saying, if someone creates such an environment, bombing your area, destroying everything, you'd rather leave. And you know what? The ones who would bomb you would be the good guys who will say, you know what, Gigi, I will offer you free transport. I will pay for your transport just to relocate yourself far, far away. And you will say, thank you very much, right? So you see, the guy who creates a certain environment, well, I'm not going to go deeper than that, will help you, will be your savior. All right, my friends, I think this is garbage. This is garbage. The whole volunteer thing is just, I can make you be a volunteer, you know. I can, imagine this, I'm going to make this little ugly proposition. If these guys, they wanted to forcefully get the Jews out of Germany, and not only, I'm talking about the Nazis. What if the Nazis would say, well, you have this, which ugly, it is obviously criminal. You go to the concentration camps or death camps, or you voluntarily go to Madagascar or Congo. What do you think those guys would have done? When we tell you what's happening in the uh, concentration camps, and we're gonna pay to relocate you to Madagascar, don't you think that there would have been a lot of Jews who would have gone to Madagascar instead of these guys killing them over there? So you see how the volunteer thing works? That's criminal. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.